important information is about to happen right here, guys.
Seriously, if you don't learn anything else from us, you're going to learn something tonight. Okay? So we have a guest here, and this is Tommy Stockstill, the winner of the Martin Honors Award. So congratulations. And we wanted to get sort of like a vendor perspective. But before we get into that, we want to say something really, really important that happens at trade shows. That's food. Okay? And Chris and I were going back and forth about pizza. And we will.
Wait, Mary, I can't hear you anymore. Tommy, can you hear her?
No, I thought it was just me.
You're like, I don't know. There you.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Thank you. Okay. So.
He probably just said the most profound thing we'll ever hear.
Yes, it was profound, and you all missed it. I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, so we were talking, and we were having a discussion on, and we said Chris and I will die on this list. Okay? Pizza. And it's specifically New York, greasy, it'll drip on your clothes. Pizza.
And by the way, New Jersey also, as long as it's like the northeast part of New Jersey, don't go too far south. I can't speak for South Jersey pizza. It's like another country down there. I don't know for a fact if it's correct.
Oh, Connecticut had some good pizza. It's been so long. They're based in the pizza's phenomenal.
She's been drinking.
Obviously, Mary, you're gonna have to dig out your microphone for tomorrow night's podcast. I don't care how many boxes you have to go through because you're coming like in and out. It's weirdness.
Well, no, it's coming in and out because Restream is telling me I have to be on Chrome, but then it won't log me into Chrome. Okay, so I'm here on Safari.
All right.
Okay. I have changed the password. I've changed the password 3 times. It will send me the So anyway, we see New York pizza.
Yeah.
I won't do too much talking. All right.
So how this relates, and this is very, very important information, is when you travel to trade shows, you need to find out from a local what the local food is. If you're going to the New York area, get pizza from don't get it from a chain. No. Even though I sometimes eat that stuff, that's not what you need to try. You need to try the dive food. If you're going to be in Jersey, go to a diner. Also, because I just learned something, Mary. Now, I traveled recently with Mindy, and we wound up not going to where we wanted to go to eat. We went to a diner. And I thought that was cool because Jersey has a very specific diner culture. I thought anyway. But I asked her, because I'm like, Mindy, how is this different? I know why they have diners all over the country. We can't be that different. And she goes, well, first of all, you don't usually see full bars in a diner. Because the full bar was right behind us. Like mixed drinks, not just beer and wine. No, mixed cocktails, hard liquor. And I went, what are you talking about?
That's the thing around here. So the food is so bland, bloody, whatever.
Now, where are you from again that you got bland food?
I'm from southern Mississippi. And it's arguable that if you go 30, 45 minutes or an hour north of the coast, then the food gets bland. Ooh, there's salt and pepper in my mashed potatoes. But the closer you get to the coast, the better the food gets. Now I'm in southeast Minnesota. Been here 28 years. And
oh, yeah.
Oh, there's salt and pepper in my mashed potatoes.
Oh, you ain't. Yeah. Minnesota is not really known for spice and color. I mean, brats maybe.
Yeah, and but that's okay. I had to learn to cook the stuff so we didn't starve. My kids grew up on jambalaya and red beans and rice, and Kim doesn't like that.
So I should bring you up some like a nice curry mix, a nice spice when I see you.
I don't know. I've only had a little bit of Indian food.
Ooh, okay. I'll bring you some turmeric. There we go.
All right, so I guess the point really is that find local people, get the names of good local restaurants.
Yes.
So when we were in Atlanta and they put us in not the hotel that was right next to the convention center, they put us where all the dogs were. We asked the driver, well, what are the good restaurants? Right? And so we took his advice. The food was awesome. All right.
Where'd you go?
Marie Hatfields, is that it?
She's looking at me like I would know.
I don't know.
From okay.
It's actually a chain, but it is really good Southern food.
Okay. Oh. Also, a tip for people not from this part of the country: the Olive Garden. Look me in the eyes. The Olive Garden is not Italian food.
What?
I don't care what you have been told.
I found a little tiny, few blocks in San Diego when I was out there that had the little tiny restaurants. Today we serve spaghetti. That's it. Tomorrow maybe something else, and we really like that, or I like that.
Nice. But yeah, find something a little off the beaten path.
If you go
something local.
If you go to the Mardi Gras show in New Orleans, if they have it next year, hopefully they do, ask a cab driver and do not say New Orleans or he won't talk to you.
New Orleans?
New Orleans or Norlands or Nolans if you're from there. But ask them where the best food is. They're probably going to send you to a gas station. I'm going to mute you for just a moment.
That's the yell at the dogs mute. That's exactly what that is. That's hysterical.
Oh my God, that's a daughter and 3 dogs. It's not her fault.
Okay. I actually, what I do when I get travel time is, since I have certain dietary restrictions, there's an app on my phone that will tell me whatever area I'm in, if they're vegan only restaurants with vegetarian options or vegan options. So I will find the little local, because they're not going to be a chain unless they send me to Whole Foods or some shit, but some little like vegan bakeries in just outside the French Quarter.
Yep.
Or something, which is a lot of fun.
I had fried crocodile when I was in New Orleans.
I had fried crocodile in Jersey.
You had alligator. You didn't have crocodile.
Yeah, I had alligator.
Alligator, whatever.
Okay? Tasted like chicken.
It tasted like chicken.
Yes, it does. If they cut all the fat off of it. If they don't cut all the fat off it, it's the nastiest thing you've ever tasted.
It was, yeah, this was before this was when I was still eating meat. It tasted like somewhat dry chicken breast.
Yep.
All right. So we actually had a point of bringing Tommy on today.
It wasn't just to chat about food.
I just look hungry.
So Tommy is, I'm going to, elevate him right now to beloved vendor. Mm-hmm. All right? Because he's fun. He's great to talk to. He's got a great product.
Somebody thinks, dude, did you get your medal yet? Get to it. Show it. Show it.
Oh boy.
Thank God it's not glass.
Yeah, no kidding.
I think they know better than to give glass things to groomers.
Well, Janet Barkley, those girls are wonderful. Those ladies are wonderful. He said, if something happens, you screw it up or gets stolen, let me know. We'll get you another one.
Aw.
Yeah. They treat us like they've known us 20 years, like you guys.
So tell us about what it's like to be a vendor. All right.
In the beginning, terrifying. That wasn't me.
That was to accentuate that it was terrifying. You feel the wolves, you hear the wolves at the door and everything.
In the beginning, it's terrifying because you don't know what to expect. I've been to lots of shows. I've been to a couple of Barclay shows with Kim as a business owner. But it's like everything else about the business. I don't know about everyone else, but it goes through my mind. Oh, you're going to screw it up. You're going to forget something. I had to get to the point where I said, yeah, if I screw it up, if I forgot it, we'll just have to go with it. We'll figure it out. But besides being scared, which ended as soon as the first customers came to our stall, I got to say this, I liked the grooming world. Like I said, I've been to 2 shows with Kemlin in Chicago to attend classes, and it was pretty cool. But once I started talking to these groomers, oh my God, I haven't felt so good about, I don't know, anything ever. It makes my work miserable right now where I am at because it pales in comparison. But every customer made us feel welcome. And the other vendors came up and said, hey, we're set up. Do you need any help with anything? And it's been like that at every show since. So what was it like to be a new vendor? Scary until you get there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know family gets thrown around all the time, but it really is like an extended family there. The cousins that you don't get to see very often, and
it's the cousins you see like a couple times a year.
Yeah.
And that, it's weird. Like, you're right. We throw that phrase around, but it really hit home in 2020 because we didn't. We got used to seeing certain people, even if it's only, like a quick hi. And then all of a sudden you didn't.
It feels good to know that they're still there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what are some of the challenges, though, that you do face as a vendor? All right. Because you know what? As attendees, we just like roll up and show up. That's it.
Getting the product, we don't, at this point, we don't buy anything from anyone and resell it, or I think it's called white label, where you put your brand on something you found that maybe they're only using in another country. The products we have right now are all designed by me and approved by Kemlin. She keeps throwing it off, but it really is 50-50. So getting the stuff here, COVID killed that. It took from May until last Friday to get my trach savers that everyone's been waiting on, the vinyl trach savers. That's a long time. So getting the product for the shows. What do I bring? What shouldn't I bring? What are people going to want to see?
Yeah, the supply issue is huge. So I'm in town here. There's a local co-op, and it's a farm co-op. So they have like farm equipment, farm stuff, gardening stuff, Hallmark stuff, whatever. All right. But we've been wanting a very particular composter. It's the one that's in the barrel, and you just got to turn it. Okay. Mm-hmm. We've been waiting for 2 years for it, and 2 years for it, because apparently it's like, well, she says I can tell you where it is in the supply chain. It's sitting in a bay somewhere in a ship, and no one has the personnel to unload the ship to get it out to the distribution center.
Well, I always like to be the bearer of bad tidings, but things are getting worse. My FedEx rep just a couple of days ago, I don't remember exactly when, FedEx isn't picking up anything in China anymore for air freight because everything's so shaky over there. If they have a long-standing relationship with someone, with a company, and these orders have been sitting there waiting for them to fly them in, they'll fly them in, but that's it. So there is no FedEx Air from China right now. So that's not a good sign.
Oh, I have an update, by the way. Basically, Amanda's not here because when Mary told me to talk to you and Amanda about something, I was not 100% awake, and I thought she meant something else that I needed clarification on first. So Amanda just saw my message and went, I didn't know I was supposed to be here now. Last I heard, Mary said, you and Tommy should be on sometime. And I went, oh, that's probably on me.
For the traveling, yeah.
So that would be why, so I'm blushing, that would be why Amanda's not here.
So we'll get Amanda on another time.
Okay.
Amanda is a great one because she has a product that people don't have to wonder about the quality of. People are starting to know about it. And maybe she takes orders for something she makes for you in the future. Her stuff's amazing, but she's still going through that fear stage. What if I need 2 tables and they only have one? Are they going to charge me? All those little things you don't know about. I guess I just skipped over those things because I've kind of forgotten what they are.
But you know what? That's where the family comes in, because then you talk to other vendors and you go, oh my God, I think I do need another table. And they will tell you what the cheapest way to get that table is.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, I could tell some tales about, maybe when we're not recording, about tables. But yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this, Barclay, no offense to WPA, but Barclay is so much more accommodating than like the Atlanta show. I haven't been to Super Zoo or the one in Vegas, but they just their policies are more accommodating.
They're a little easier. They're not as big a company. But I will say, in terms of quality, the very first time I think I met you in person, you showed me the prototype groomer's wall with buckshot in it.
Yes.
So, yeah, I don't know how anyone can doubt that quality.
That girl sitting over there shot it and ran over it with her car.
Yep.
And gave the neighbor kids tools to try to destroy it. And he didn't. Well,
she's a good kid, even if she didn't share her tacos with you.
What?
She said, even if you didn't share your tacos, you're a good kid.
Are you telling everybody about that?
Yes, we are telling everyone about that. This is a national broadcast.
Yeah. Because it's a national crisis.
Tommy sent me some pictures, right? And in the pictures there's this empty basket, which I thought was a pizza, and I would like have pizza on my mind. You know, I was like, oh man, it looks like you had because it looked kind of greasy. And I'm like, man, you have pizza. And they're like, no, it's taco. She didn't share it with us.
She called to see what we were doing for dinner. We didn't know, and she said,
I called mom and I called dad, and I asked them, what's the plan for dinner? And neither of them said anything. They're like, we don't have one. I'm like, well, then go on your own. So I got my own food.
Well, Tommy, you didn't tell us the rest of the story.
Oh, God, which
You
part?
didn't say, you're on your own, here's an extra 20 pickup tacos for everyone.
No, I didn't do that. He said, hey, these people, you never decide till 7 o'clock. I'm hungry now.
Okay.
But this is the young lady who's building the groomer's walls for me right now.
So we should introduce her.
I have a full-time job. working for the state. So Cashlyn, we had 30 plus back orders that she filled with the vinyl tray savers, and she got them to FedEx today for 2-day express. And she's done, except for well, out of the 400 plus groomers walls, she's probably built 250 of them. And she only shot the one, so you don't have to worry about that.
Well, she should put her face on it. Everyone see it. So she's the face behind the construction of the groomers wall. So we all know who made it.
Right. This is the person who makes the groomers wall. This is Cashlyn Ray.
Good job.
She cranks her tunes in our little shop and jams out, and sometimes she tricks her boyfriend into helping her, but I pay him too.
Not just in random tacos.
No, they're on their own for tacos. Kind of harsh in the Stockstill house.
All right. So the next show that is coming up, I guess, is the New England show, correct?
Yes.
So what does it kind of look like when you get set up for a trade show? So you pull up to the doors of the New England show, Sturbridge Hotel.
Well, it starts actually a couple of weeks before. I start loading things. We have a giant ice chest that we put wheels on. So all of our paperwork and our banners and all those things are in one thing. Because you're right, what the attendees don't see is 40 vendors trying to get into a small door at the same time, unloading. Now they all are helping each other, and it's like, here, let me hold this for you, or let me hold the door, and that's awesome. But it is a mess. So Cameron and I, all of our stuff, we put it on wheels, everything. So we can roll everything in 15 minutes, get our little truck and our little trailer out of the way, and then it takes a little while to set up. But it's a mad dash.
All right, so you drive out here.
Yes, ma'am. So
all right, how long is it going to take you to do that drive?
22 hours.
22?
Yep. And we don't have to take the trailer this time, so that's a little easier. But it was so across the mountains and over the hills to grandmother's house we go.
Yeah, it's going. Okay, so that's October, and you guys will have snow.
If we do, that's okay. I don't think we will.
Yeah, I got asked to do a first aid class on the other side of the state, and summertime. Do not ask me in the winter time because I'm not going over the pass in the winter. It's like as close to the freaking moon as you can get. Okay.
Going across
I'm not going up that elevation to the other side of the state. I'll have to drive down to California, cut across, and then go up the other way. Yeah, no, not have to go.
Well, we kind of joke about it, but I am a snow expert. I do plow snow for the state of Minnesota. So it might be 12 miles an hour, but I can do her.
You know what? And here's the thing, all right? So the eastern part of the state here, they get a lot of snow. Mm-hmm. And snow trucks, you know how to handle it. Correct?
Right.
Correct. Mm-hmm. This side of the state, they don't get it. So that a few times there is snow, it's a disaster. Okay? When we were having this house built out here, my husband came out here in between those two storms that this area had, right? So the first one dumped like 4 inches, okay, and crippled the area. And then I was seeing the pictures of the 12 inches of snow that they were measuring. You'll appreciate this. They were measuring the snow because it fell off the deck onto the chair that was there. And that is how they determined they had 12 inches of snow. Okay?
That's not how you measure snow.
That's not how you measure snow, but you know what? Whatever. I thought, it was funny, okay? And then
bless their hearts.
Bless
their hearts.
Okay? or the snow in the truck bed that has 12 inches, but the snow by the tire is like this.
Yeah.
You know, no, you didn't get 12 inches of snow. I mean, Chris, we could do a joke about this. This is not 12 inches. Okay?
No matter what you've been told.
Well, no matter what you've been told, this is not 12 inches.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, go ahead.
Then they had a real storm, and my husband came in between them, right? So, and it dumped 12 inches of snow, right? And I give the area somewhat props because you know what, that's unheard of in this area, 12 inches of snow, right? So I tell my husband, the snow, it's going to snow 12 inches there. You need to get to the airport in the morning because if you don't, you're not going to get there. I have to tell you that right now. Well, a few times the man listened to me and he got to the airport early because I then texted him photos of what highway he was looking at. Right? But he was already safely at the airport. He goes into the supermarket. Says, I have never seen anything like this in my life. He went in to get a bottle of water to take on the drive down to the airport. There wasn't a single bottle of water in the supermarket. There wasn't a loaf of bread. There wasn't a gallon of milk. And most of the canned goods were gone. So I've never walked into a store where it has just been decimated.
You've never been through a hurricane because that's exactly what happens. Water, bread, milk, eggs, and luncheon meats. It's like that'll keep the storm away or something.
So my point being with that whole story is that they waited to like plow the roads like when it was full of traffic. Okay? And I'm sure, okay, yeah, maybe the snow truck drivers don't know what to do here on this side of Washington, but I know on the eastern side they do. It could have been like a phone call and say, hey, how do we do this? Right? Not try to put snow plows on the road, on the highway, with cars that are backed up forever because they're going to be on the road. But they have no idea because they've never been in a storm that had 12 inches before.
Well, if it makes you feel better, in southeastern Minnesota, we're considered the banana belt of Minnesota, but we had a real blizzard 4 years ago. I mean, I have a big, huge dump truck, plow truck, and it was up to the hood, the drifts were. And people were driving in there just to see if they could. And, but I didn't mean to go there with the blizzard thing, but the first snow of our year, this might as well be South Texas. No one knows how to drive in it. They set their cruise controls. They go in the ditches. They wonder why it's slippery.
Yeah, so my thing is if I know it's going to snow, I stay home. I'll just stay home.
That's the best thing.
I'm not getting out on the road with people who do not know how to drive on the snow.
They sent out the National Guard in the blizzard. I know.
And you know, rain.
And they all ended up in the ditch.
And rain can be just as bad with flash flood warnings.
Yes.
Your cars are not amphibious vehicles.
Especially the newer cars. The computer gets wet, you're done. The old cars, you see them go through the water, that's one thing. Not the new one.
You know, when we were in Connecticut and it would snow, it would drop like 3 feet of snow. We'd be like, well, we expect the roads clear tomorrow. And you know what? The roads were clear the next day.
Yep.
So we got to go forward. We got things to do. We're not going to let 3 feet of snow stop us. But I don't miss that. I don't miss it.
If you wake up to 3 feet of snow on Monday morning, you better be back to work on Tuesday. You get 24 hours over here.
Yeah. Yeah. And we all expect our roads to be clear.
Yep. Well, get the hell out of my way when I'm plowing, please.
Yes.
How did we get
the luckiest I
How
ever
did we
got
get on this? I don't know.
As a mobile groomer, okay? So the high top rear wheel drive vehicle. So it was the first year I was mobile, and it literally was snowing every other day from the middle of November to the middle of April. It was a terrible winter. And then the forecasters were really off about it. So it'd be like, oh yeah, it's going to snow later this afternoon. I'm like, oh great, I'll go out, get some morning done, and I come home. Yeah, well, didn't always work out that way. I lucked out and got behind a snowplow and drove behind the snowplow probably 3/4 of the way home.
Nice.
Seriously, nice.
We don't mind as long as you're not right behind us, because sometimes we have to stop because sometimes in the snowbank ahead of us.
No. You got. Trust me. I'm driving a large vehicle. I get that. Okay.
Oh, they'll get right under my sander in the back where I'm putting out salt or sand, and I can hear it hitting their hoods, and they think that's a good idea. Nope. Yeah, I don't know how we got on the snow.
I don't know. It's yeah. Chris and I tend to like, we have a topic and we're going to talk about this topic. It's just like, yeah, maybe.
I don't even. Normally, it makes sense though. Like our divergences make some sense. This.
And we keep trying to like reel it back to why you're here. Yeah, well, whatever.
The vendor thing.
The vendor thing.
Oh, you were saying in October it might snow, and he was driving to New England. Oh,
there we go.
Well, if
I would not have been able to sleep without figuring that connection. Okay.
If I ever have a podcast, I'm going to call it "I Digress."
There we go.
That could be actually, Chris. That could be our tagline.
We digress. You can have it. You can have it.
Thank you.
No trademark.
Okay.
But we are so excited to go to this show. We're really, and it's like Chris, you said, you get to see these people again.
Yeah.
And there's a few of us are going to get together, and it's exciting.
And do something in the area. I love when I travel to do something in the area. All right. Part of the thing is like when you're from the area, like I don't know what to do. I live here.
And there's some very cool little restaurants right in driving range, right around the host hotel. There's some very neat little spots, and there's a coffee shop like kind of across the street down the road that's obviously a local place that sells stuff from local artists.
Oh, like, yeah, that's where you picked up those glasses, right? You picked up the glasses there at that shop?
Maybe. Was it glasses?
It was a pair of glasses. And then you took the walking tour in Boston. Boston is a great place to visit if you're going to the New England show.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you one thing people don't know about vendors, if I may.
Yes, the reason we're here.
Kemlin and I thought it was just us. As well, we're not used to this. We are so dog tired at the end of the day. Just exhausted. We drag ourselves into the hotel. Dee drags us out to go to the bathroom. And the dog, not us. That's our dog. And I was thinking maybe it's just us. But Chris and Mindy came in shortly behind us in the hotel, and I think they were pretty tired too. And I realized everyone was.
Everyone. It is exhausting because we absolutely don't take this as we don't love talking to everybody. Oh my God. We love it, but it's so much energy and it's so much on, and it's solid. What is it? Almost 8 hours of solid on and extroversion and energy and on your feet and walking and seeing people. And when you get done, you're just like there's drool. Like
we all don't drool, Mary.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think I don't know. Mindy and I went, and we went to pick up Chinese food or something, and we're just sitting in the car in the parking lot going, she's like, I don't want to get out of the car. So I don't want to either.
You know, and people who speak, it's the same thing. It's exhausting. I like to come in like a good day ahead of time, right?
Yeah.
So like when I go down to Atlanta, my daughter's in Atlanta. So I come in a couple of days ahead of time, and then we go do something fun, because once we get started on the show, doing something that like requires a day to do it is not going to happen. You've got to do it before the show even starts, right? Or even thinking you're going to stay an extra day, I think that still doesn't work, because you're still exhausted, so you don't get to appreciate it. But anyway, those going into Boston, into the New England show, go in if you can a day early, but spend the day in Boston. They got the aquarium there, they've got museums, they've got boat rides, they got walking tours.
The Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum is legit one of the coolest museums I've ever been into in my life. It's like if your cool aunt who never had any kids and loved art just collected art. By the way, your cool aunt was rich. Just collected art from all over the world and filled her mansion full of it. And it got to a certain point where she went, you know what? I'm going to live up on these floors and just open up the rest for people, because I've got so much stuff for people to see. That's legit what happened.
When I was in Atlanta, my daughter and my son-in-law, we went to the botanical gardens that was out there. And there was a nice botanical garden. I like botanical gardens. This one was really nice.
Oh, and Angie says the biggest unsolved art heist was there. And that is true. They still have the blank spot on the wall where a really famous painting was stolen. And they just were like, oh, well, no, they were obviously quite upset.
Actually, you know what? And I think in the vendor group, all right, that we have on Facebook, we should post things in there to come in the day early and take advantage of things to do, and maybe restaurants in the area as well. I think I'll put that there. So there's lots, there's lots to do if you just know where to do it, know where to go.
Yeah, we sat in the hotel thinking, okay, where, what? Well, let's ask someone. Well, everyone's either crashed out or standing in the lobby with Chinese food and a big poodle.
And a big poodle and Chinese food, yeah, that would be.
So, and we were gonna do Hershey the day after the show. We circled Hershey World twice trying to figure out how to get in there, and I said, "Let's go." We left.
Do it the day before. Do it the day before when you have energy. The day after the show, definitely book yourself. Look, if where you're going is famous for spas, do that the day after the show. You'll need it.
Good idea.
But before the show, when you still have energy and just get all that energy from whatever it is you love to do, be it local breweries or art or music or whatever. Day before, it'll pump you up for the show. Day after the show, to crash.
Right, because at the show, even though I love it, that's still work.
Yeah.
Before the show, you're right. And we go to these wonderful cities.
Yeah.
I saw the airport in Atlanta.
We spent some time in Boston one year. My son-in-law's cousin was like a mucky muck for the Intercontinental Hotel. All right. And we got for free, okay, the penthouse suite at the Intercontinental Hotel in Boston. Okay. Seriously. And honestly, they actually, we found out later that they actually circulated to the staff pictures of myself and my husband, because we were his aunt and uncle that were coming in for a visit. And we had people addressing us by name in the hotel. We had cookies, chocolate chip cookies that were still steaming warm from the oven. It was probably, I can't even imagine what that actually cost. But yeah, the view was amazing.
The customer service at the Peabody in Memphis is like that. I checked in, I was just this car guy there for some classes, and they were greeting me by name, and the ducks were walking through to the pond, to the fountain, and it's the best customer service I think I've ever had at the Peabody.
I mean, so I think we could all recognize really good customer service.
Yeah.
And that's it. So we're already like 10 minutes past what we normally do for live stream. Maybe we'll get you back up and we'll actually talk more vendor stuff.
Amanda will be here next week.
Okay, so
I actually told her about it. It's junk.
Save the link. And you know what? So the next upcoming show is the New England show, right? Correct?
Yeah.
So you know what? Let's get them both back up and let's get a to-do list. Things to do in the vicinity. Oh my God. Oh no, that was Rhode Island. Because they keep moving the show. Right? When they had the show in Rhode Island, there was a Japanese steakhouse. That was phenomenal.
I have a feeling none of us have eaten dinner.
Yes.
We've talked about food a lot.
That could be true.
And I have lots of computer work to do before I can go and make dinner. And I can't even go right downstairs. I gotta go out and around the corner to the other half of the house if I need to make dinner.
Oh, but think how new it'll be.
Yeah, it'll be shiny. It'll have a functional kitchen, and not like a I guess it works kitchen.
All right. So next week we actually probably in this particular we digress.
That's the live stream name.
We digress.
And tell me if you ever do a podcast, obviously you can have your idea back. See how generous I am?
Oh, Kim will come up with something.
We're not, Tommy, we're not even going to trademark it. Okay?
No, we're just holding it for you. We're holding it for you.
Absolutely.
Keeping it warm.
And no one better could hold it than you guys. But I got to say one more thing. I know we're late. That would be such a service to everyone going to these shows if there was a listing of do this, eat there, see these, do these things.
Okay, so you know what? Once I get off of here, I'll just make a couple of quick posts in the vendor Facebook group so that people can start putting things in there. You got to do this. You got to eat here.
Yeah. And keep it close to have a variety. Don't just say because Boston is not super close to Sturbridge unless you have to pass by it to get there.
So, like if you're flying in, it might be a place to.
If you're flying in, spend a day and then drive over in late afternoon. Yes.
But honestly, I would rather spend that 45 minutes to get to Boston hanging out with these guys, or an hour. Angie said.
And here's another thing too about Boston. Okay. And it may not just necessarily be Boston, it could be like all of Massachusetts. All right. They're drivers.
Okay, wait. I can speak to this because while I am not from Massachusetts, I've driven in Manhattan. Okay. I'm from New Jersey. I can be an aggressive driver. I've driven in Manhattan. I've driven in LA and Chicago. And I drove through Massachusetts quite a bit, not just Boston. Mary, am I allowed to cuss on the live stream?
Yes, you can cuss on the live stream.
Boston, you know how when you're trying to merge and you're trying to be like aggressive and you're just trying to stick yourself in there thinking they won't hit you? Boston don't give a fuck. Boston will hit you. That is the only place I have driven where I have not successfully been able to merge because they called my bluff and I looked and I'm like, that masshole will 110% hit me.
And he's like, yeah, they will.
So no, Boston. Oh, wow.
Chicago.
Wow.
Oh, and also GPS is not necessarily the best in Boston either. Okay.
Oh no, it was
And
miserable.
it's like Angie, somebody takes over GPS from Massachusetts that is from Massachusetts, and they're like, "We're gonna screw with these tourists."
I was trying to find a parking garage. I had reserved a parking space. They will run you over and blame you because what were you doing in the street? Didn't you see me driving here? Anyway, I was looking for a parking garage because I was staying someplace like right near the aquarium. So I had mapped it out. I saw that, okay, I park here, I take my overnight, I take my bag, I walk to over here, not a problem. I must have circled the block 15 times trying to find the GPS was not helping. It was, once I found it was fine. It was a nightmare.
Okay, now here's another thing too, right? So when my granddaughter was like 3 or something, for her birthday, we took her to the American Girl that was in Boston. All right. It said Boston on the website where it had the address. It had the address Boston, right? So that's the address we put into the GPS. Turns out, oh, did we say Boston? Nah, I think we meant Somerville. But you what? The website says Boston. Yeah, it does it. But it's really Somerville.
Was it like a suburb of Boston?
Yeah, it's like a suburb of Boston. And it's not in Boston.
It's not in Boston.
I knew Angie would know that.
So it takes us down like a one-way street.
The wrong way. It tells you to turn the wrong way.
Right? So we went the right direction, but it was a one-way street that ended in a dead end and which we could not turn around.
Well, maybe it's like DC. You find someplace outside of town and you get a cab because the locals don't drive in DC. You pay $100 for a cab and
well worth it. Well worth it.
Yeah.
Walk
Give me
and
an
Uber.
A Lyft, a cab, I don't care. Just drive me to where it is I need to go because I'm not driving myself. You people are crazy.
I'm going to Angie's to borrow a sword before I.
And I'm gonna wear my seatbelt in the back seat.
Wear your seatbelt. Just saying.
All right, ladies, good night.
Next week, we'll digress further.
Yes, awesome.
You need that hanging on your wall back there by the E3.
We do.
We
We'll digress.
We'll be traveling, but we'll tune in.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you, guys.